Please welcome Tiffani Robinson.
It was my first day on the job site. All I could hear is men speaking in Spanish across the project. Ciudadano, ciudadano. Hola, ¿cómo estás, mida? ¿Qué este mujer? I'm the only woman. I walk in, I hear power tools, hammers, saw chains, everything. I just hear nothing but noise. And I stand there, and the only thing that I can reflect on is, what keeps this system going? And what deters it? What keeps a project on track? How do we retain the people? Because you see, as a Black woman walking into a construction site, as an HVAC technician, I had broken a barrier. One thing I learned at that moment in time is that breaking barriers just opens up the access to the door. But once you get in, you're responsible for what you see inside. Today, women represent only about a little over 10% in the construction workforce. It sounds like progress, doesn't it? Well, 5% when you get down to the women actually holding the tools. Talking about your plumbers, your electricians, your HVAC technicians. Then when you get into other trades, you then go down a little bit further, a little down to 2 to 3%. Now, what does that say to us? We've got work to do? Or is there an opportunity to see a different perspective in our business ecosystem? One of the first lessons that I learned in entering into the world of construction as a Black woman is that access is not the win. Access is the assignment. Because you see, when you get in, you're now responsible for more than just your company and your people's success. You're responsible for the success of others. You're responsible for the mentorship of others into the space. And as you keep walking a little bit further in that space, you realize that the system has questions that people refuse to ask. Like, what happens when you let someone in that isn't supposed to be here, and yet they come in and they see everything? And you know, us women, we do see everything. We see things through a different lens, don't we? We see who's protected. We see who's promoted. And we definitely see who's ignored. But I just want to tell you that this talk today is not about who's right or wrong, who's privileged or who's been oppressed. It's about the lessons we all can learn when barriers have been broken. And so as you keep going along in this journey, and as I've gone along in my journey in the world of construction, the one thing that I learned is that proximity to power lends to obligation. Because you see, when you get in just a little bit further and you see how things really work, then now you are responsible for asking the questions that have gone unasked. Now you're responsible for what you see, what you participate in, and now the legacy that you leave. What legacy are you leaving? It's the question I ask myself as a Black woman, HVAC technician, electrician. what is my responsibility to my proximity to power? What does that look like? And as I stand here, I can envision myself making the plans, making them plain, creating the stratagem, doing the business development things, and then realizing that I understood the ecosystem, but I didn't understand the power that I had when I stepped inside of it. You see, breaking barriers is not about just opening doors. It's about what we do once we're inside. And so I think back on that day at the construction site, bushy-eyed, so happy I've gotten my first contract of sorts. And I think about proximity to power, knowing that access is an assignment. And I ask myself, what type of leader am I? What type of organization have I led where my crews want to come back? What type of organization have I led that I've been able to break in to just this space? And what will it require for us to change what those dynamics look like in the future? Breaking barriers is not just about opening doors, but it's about your leadership once you're inside. Thank you.